Alright guys, HyDra, hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Scrappy and Octane going at it last night over the Miami Heretics versus Ravens series. A disagreement maybe in terms of the way they should have approached the situation. Scrappy crashing out at Octane as a result of this. Sure, maybe a few minutes later, they're all boys again, but nonetheless the drama has definitely caused many of the people that have changed their mind on Scrappy over the last few months or so to maybe continually do exactly that. Very much interested to your thoughts in the comment section below. The final day of qualifiers this evening with some big matches coming up. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. We're going to start right about here. Kremp actually is at Daytona again this weekend. He just killed it a couple of weekends ago when he made his own thing in the Raw before the 24, they call it, with the Rolex 24 of Daytona is still ongoing. And he does actually mention, because the challenge that he's doing this season, there's only 6 rounds of the series that he's racing in. So I thought he's got to be getting involved in something else racing-wise this year. Turns out that he's going to be racing with NASCAR at the Circuit of the Americas at the end of February. So I'm not exactly sure which kind of like cup or series within NASCAR that's going to be. But yeah, if you guys are local to COTA, he's going to be there in Austin, Texas in the relatively near future. So I thought that was pretty cool actually to see Kremp in attendance this weekend. But let's talk about a couple of other things. We've got to start here with TJ Halley having a dominant series yesterday against the Heretics in that remarkable 3-2 reverse sweep that Ravens pulled off, which of course is pretty critical to their season in some respects. The other thing to note though is Slasher talking a fair bit about the current state of the game. The ARs have been struggling, really. There's some ARs that haven't. I mean, Cellium had a 1.5. So it's not like it's impossible as an AR to do particularly well. Maybe it's affecting Scrappy as well to some degree. We know that his Hacienda play has not been the best and he's been getting roasted for it, you know, 6 scrap, whatever, right? People are joking about. To be fair, most maps he's been pretty good. Dashy's been excellent this season. But Slasher, because Slasher was one of the best ARs in the game at the start of the year. The last couple of series he's had a rougher time, and he says that the way that it currently is with the ARs from his perspective is vicious. Completely different game the first few weeks. I missed my quick draw AR, and because I've changed things around with the attachments and stuff like that, but you know, big AR is going to continue to complain about it, I imagine. There was also talk from Cap, and understandably, because yesterday's series went to a map 5 Vault Search and Destroy, and Vault Search and Destroy is, you know, it's a very one-dimensional map. We have seen it before on other maps where there is one preferred bomb site, but on this map, unless you're in a 1v1, you're not planting B. And even then, sometimes A is better because of where you can watch it from. B, to be fair, I mean, we even talked about it when the game first came out. There are some plant spots on B, pretty tough to stop. But actually, planting B, good luck when you can just waltz into the A bomb site and get the bomb down if you choose to. So Jacob said, watch very little search this year, but I'm sure I'm late on this party, really. But Vault is the dumbest search map of all time. And Slasher, though, says, Skyline's even worse. So, well, the thing is for Ravens, they continue to play it. I think that's what kind of confuses me a bit. Ravens are not good at Skyline. Their record on Skyline is not good, but they continue to play it like every series, and they tend to lose it every series. But, yeah, Slasher says you're basically playing TDM. And fair enough, I guess he's talking about the Search and Destroy here, maybe, as being like TDM, you just run around and get the kills and stuff. So, okay, I guess they don't tend to play Skyline Search much, but Skyline Hardpoint in some respects is maybe not that much different. TJ, though, as he says, nice reverse sweep before the major, needed that one. Dashy was giving him some gas here in the replies as well, but Dashy was also talking about the state of Vault, because as Octane says, I watched 21 rounds of Vault Search and Destroy today. There were 20 A plants. Bring back rewinds. Now this is interesting, right, because when a map leaves the map pool, at least in COD, very, very rare that it would come back in. Rewind was the most vetoed Search and Destroy map. Does that mean it's the worst? Not necessarily, when it was in the pool back in December. Many of the players would argue that, even as Slasher said, Skyline should be gone, a Rewind should be back in. I don't think if the pros had to vote on it, they would vote out Vault. I think the pros admit that Vault isn't the most fundamentally sound search map, and it is just to square up every single time at the A bomb site. But I guess at least on some level it makes it kind of fair. But the CDL could arguably look at the state of things and say, alright, Vault needs to go, we're going to bring somebody else back in. But kind of doubt it. There are other maps coming soon that might be viable for Search and Destroy, but I'm not especially convinced. A couple of clips I wanted to share with you guys. One of which was this, which was particularly interesting here from Renegade. Of course, now part of OpTic's Halo team, remarkably enough, with Formal forming what he's tried to become as the God Squad for the new season over there. But Renegade was one of those players, a very talented Halo guy, who has at least been in the conversation to come to Call of Duty at some point or another. Many Halo pros have tried it over the years. relatively few have been successful. Even way back in the day in Ghosts, when Formal and Enable were like the only two Halo pros that successfully made the transition. It's happened in more recent times as well. And Renegade confirms he actually had an offer as a substitute in Call of Duty when the CDL began. I guess that's what he's talking on his day. I'll share the clip anyway, but I'm imagining this was New York Subliners. I mean, he literally said it was Subliners, so it kind of been Black Ops 4, right? Because Subliners didn't exist in Black Ops 4. So I think this is probably first year CDL when Subliners formed that roster. They had like Accuracy and Temp and those guys and Zoomer and Attach and obviously all that happening. And then they had Zero and Sensor and of course Happy, right? Opsuda was on the team as well. Now there was obviously some drama because Zero was in and then they went to make a change. Doug Sensor Martin was like begging on his knees, it seems, to the coaching staff to let him get a chance, and Accuracy was not having any of that per the rumours, and they put in Happy instead, which was, you know, relatively controversial because he wasn't very good. Maybe Doug wouldn't have been good either, but there was some drama internally in the team. But back then it used to be 5 starting players, 2 substitutes mandated by the league. It was a crazy time when Maniac, of course, was an official substitute for the Florida Mutineers, if you guys remember that. And Chicago Huntsman had Embos on the bench, and OpTic Gaming Los Angeles had like Goonjar and Chino. It was a wild time. But yeah, Renegade, it seems, had an opportunity at the time to be on the sub bench, probably of the subliners. Would have been very interesting. Would they have given him a go? I don't know. You know, the history could have changed substantially, I would say, at that point. But let's talk about some of the drama from yesterday, because during the series, the Ravens versus Heretics ones, there were certainly some questionable plays going down. The flank guys were debating it last night. Octane certainly had his opinion on what he thought should have been done differently by the Heretics in that Hacienda hardpoint. They eventually lost that map. They went to the game 5. They lost that as well. They got reverse swept by the Ravens. So Octane was giving his thoughts. Scrappy was giving his thoughts as well. And look, I'll just share the clip. It's not like these guys can't make up and still be on the right terms, but it's just another one of these moments here where fans are going to look at Scrappy's reaction, however entertaining, and say like, you know, maybe Scrap's maturity isn't at the level that it needs to be at. It's been, Scrappy's arc as a player has been very interesting because he's always rubbed some people up the wrong way, and that's always how it's going to be with a personality like his. But when he was on Toronto, he wasn't really a villain because Drazah was the villain and Scrappy was kind of playing the other side of it. Although, you know, some people weren't the biggest fan of Scrappy, sure, understandable, but you know, some people were. Nowadays on Thieves, it's not like they're not a well-liked org, they are, but just the way that things have gone with Thieves lately, especially some of the stuff that's happened with the gentleman's agreements, the sniper stuff. I mean, even this 1v3 the other day was getting people clowning on Scrappy because, I mean, here he is. I don't know how he didn't die the first time. TJ gets spun on, and then Scrappy goes down as well, and Scrap's POV wasn't very happy about it. So there's just been a few moments over the last, certainly several months, that have put the fans against Scrappy in some regards. And it's not like he's necessarily wrong all the time, but him and Octane are kind of getting into it here, and Octane's getting a bit, you know, heated as well, and Scrappy just decides he's had enough. I do love it when Scrap says, I literally just don't care, when clearly he does care.
I heard you're actually, like, I only played against you once, and it was kind of a close game, I guess, but I heard you're actually kind of nasty. Like, do you think you could make the switch? I mean, to be honest, I think you could make the switch, and I don't even fucking know. I think you're just like that talented of a.
I think I could.
Has it ever crossed your mind?
No, I've definitely wanted to a few times, but I never just fully just like done with Halo, completely done. Now I'm going to Call of Duty.
You just won Worlds or something.
Yeah,
something, right?
Yeah.
So was there any thought around that point of time?
Yeah, no,
like any serious consideration, or was it kind of just like, man, I think I'd be nasty. This might be worth it.
I think in like that time, 2018, I definitely played like, I think the COD at that time was Black Ops 4 or MW. I don't know. I remember. But I remember I got like a substitute offer from like. Well, I guess it wasn't a real offer because it didn't pan out the way I wanted to, but like they offered me and I was like, oh, like this might be my shot.
Wait, who was it?
It was the subliners at the time.
Do you know who? Do you remember who your team would have been?
I would have been the substitute on that roster because they did it back in MW.
Why are you skipping 10 seconds?
Wait, hold on. I'm at 56 seconds and Slasher and Gwyn just shot.
Why are you skipping 10 seconds, Ernie?
Slasher and Gwyn just shot, yes.
I'm at 56 seconds. At 56 seconds, Gwyn just shot. It's at 56. He just shot. I have it paused right now.
I'm
he just shot.
Okay.
Are you smoked?
Bro, I'm done. I'm done arguing. I don't get because you're not even listening.
You're not even making
listening.
sense.
You're actually being a fucking retard, and you're not even listening. I'm done talking.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm
done
listening.
talking.
No,
I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't give a fuck. Let's play Rocket League.
You're an idiot.
Bro, you're a fucking retard.
You completely skipped the entire play I'm arguing about.
Bro,
to
you're
bring up
just
some
not
random
even listening.
nonsense.
Like I'm done to fucking even care anymore.
Oh, okay, I'm getting Benjade. Holy fuck.
No, because I actually truly don't give a fuck that much.
Okay.
Wait, I'm confused. So what's the argument here? Because this is like COD 101. What's the argument here?
Bro, the point is,
There's two dead.
Ranker
One
cannot
shot.
give
Hold
up
on.
well
I'm
from the
so
entire hill.
confused. There's two dead. One shot mid, one shot right. Those are last two.
So interested in your thoughts in the comments below, right? Scrappy increasingly getting into these like crash out style moments. Maybe if his team was cooking right now, then everything would be sunshine and rainbows. Because of course they're part of the same organization, Scrappy and Octane on some level. But look, it's not like Thieves have looked bad. They're currently 5-1 in the league. They've just not looked quite as good as we might have expected them to at the moment. Now, there are some games this evening. These are your current standings here in the Major 1 qualifiers. So these aren't the overall season standings. FaZe, of course, are at 30 points, but they won the minor, so they're at 60 now, basically. Ravens are actually going to be at 70, right? Because they came second at the minor. So Ravens are still top of the league as it stands. But anyway, these are the Major 1 standings for the seedings for the tournament. Falcons, they're starting in losers. They are 0-7. Cloud9, that is interesting, but I do think based on their map counts, there's basically, there's no chance that they make it. Even if they 3-0 FaZe tonight, which they won't, but even if they did, they will end up with an 11-16 map count. That's not going to be good enough. So our 4 losers bracket teams are determined. The precise order of the teams and the seedings and the matchups in the first and second rounds in the losers bracket, that's not yet been officially confirmed. Of course, Falcons will be the last seed, but it is Falcons, Cloud9, Rocker, and Gentlemates. They are the 4 teams that will start in losers. Of course, that Rocker loss yesterday to Surge was especially brutal on this front. Surge are currently 4-3. Heretics are 2-5 as well, but because their map count is better at 16-17, they just about scrape it through over Gentlemates with a slightly better map win percentage. So, Miami will make the winners bracket at what is not their home event, but it's in Spain. So I guess that's a nice touch anyway, even though they did get reverse swept yesterday, which I'm sure they're not happy about. FaZe are probably the best team in the game right now. They're currently 7th, and remarkably, they are, they've only played 12 maps, 11 maps in terms of wins and losses, whereas Surge have played 17-16. It just shows how many, Surge have gone to game 5, whereas FaZe have had a few 3-0, 3-1s, quite quick ones. But they play one more series tonight. FaZe will likely leapfrog a couple of these teams based on the results, but they still won't get an incredible seed phase, because Ravens, Thieves, OpTic, and Toronto all have 5+ wins. The battle for the first seed is likely to be between Toronto and OpTic, pretty much. If Toronto win, they get to 7-0, they're number 1 seed. If OpTic win, they get to 6-1, which will, likely be enough. But of course, Thieves are also in the conversation as well. They play Boston tonight. If they slam them, then, there is a possibility, of course, that Thieves could be in the mix as well. So there's a real battle here for the number 1 seed this evening. Obviously, Ravens are nicely positioned in their 4th, 3rd seed, something like that. But even, for Ravens, as it stands, they would play Boston first round. Not exactly an easy game, but there's no real easy games in the CDL right now unless you're playing the team that may not be named. So, that's how things look for this evening. And these are the games, right? So Thieves play Boston first game of the day. Massive matchup, really. Okay, both teams are in winners, but fascinating to see how Thieves fare here and how Boston can get on against them after getting slammed by FaZe the other day. FaZe will likely deal the damage to Cloud9, and look, if Cloud9 go down there, especially if they go down emphatically, if they end up 1-6 Cloud9 with 8 or 9 map wins, that's a really ugly stage. It's not much better than Falcons, to be honest. But and then of course OpTic versus Toronto to close out the day. So in terms of a Sunday, it doesn't actually get much better than this. So very much interested in your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.